Hello and welcome to another tour by Hawaiian Shirt Papa. This time it's the Iron Bucket Antiques and Collectibles located in Fergus. It's right on one of the main streets. Yes, they have some other things there. And a bunch of these nice little signs all over the window on the inside, of course. And they have their sign yet again on the window, not just over the windows. And you don't see this one too often. Mike Wallace for president. That was a long time ago. Yeah, so they do a bunch of different things here. Plus they're trying to be very cute with all those signs, plus this one. And there's another one coming up in just a moment. It's about their hours of work, the office hours. It's a little hard to read on the angle, so I've transcribed it on to the next. I'm not going to read it out for you. You can pause it if you wish. It's fairly commonly found online as well. The sign's been floating around for a long time. Well, you can tour with me vicariously. This is yet another one of those tours. Here we are. We're just inside the front door. And you can see they've got a very broad spectrum of topics that they deal with. These vintage and antique radios that you see partially from here. The view is from the outside actually, and here you see them. There was one radio that's turned inwards, but the rest are mainly pointed outwards. Then we continue. You've got various vintage and antique items along the way here. Glassware, ceramics, statuary, all sorts of stuff. I think you even saw there's the transistor stereo and a tube type radio. There was an old outdoor lamp there. I saw this on one of the shelves. I thought you might have some interest in it. And this has actually showing the price of $12. It was a teak box, in case you thought it said tea. No, it's a teak. Ah yes, one of the fishing rods, vintage fishing rods. I found a few in here. Plus one of these hand-carved Quebecois characters. There's a lot of different versions of these folks. This one's a very happy looking fella. Stoneware crock there. Some other small containers. Bottles of all sorts. From medicine to soft drink to alcohol to cleaning agents probably. We watch a YouTube channel regarding digging under the US plains. The gentleman goes and digs up old outhouse bits from a century ago. He does his research before he goes, and he gets permission from whomever the owner of the land is currently. He's done thousands of pits. More recently, they've been videoed. A couple of masks. I would have liked to have taken the colorful one to zoom in and do this with, but I didn't have a full view of it on any image that I did grab. It was always missing some portion of it, sadly. 3D art as well. commemorative collector plates, all sorts of things like that. So there's quite a few bottles. Stubby beer bottle, Hires root beer. Then they have some vintage fabrics and carpets. Some may be antique. Typewriter here. There's more than one place they have the vintage fabrics. This was one group. There's some hanging up. You just saw a glimpse of it there. Before we get there, we're going to see some Heidelberg beer bottles in cases. It was made by Carling. Carling became Carling O'Keefe. When they merged, then it became part of Molson, which is now Molson Coors. They have some artwork. They have teacups and saucers and other woodenware. Vintage toolbox. Usually a carpenter had a wooden one like this. Wooden one wouldn't dull his tools as quickly anyway. Turning around, there you see the cups and saucers. There's some mugs. I don't see any Tobies right there, but there may have been. A varied collection of ceramics. Some look like they're Oriental motif. And we're getting into the clear old glass. Some vintage fabrics as we're going by them. It's funny because some of these clear glass are depression glass, some are older, and some are quite new, and it's the oldest ones and the newest ones are actually harder to tell apart than the ones in between because of the designs from the 1850s. Looks much more like what we have nowadays, the more contemporary ones. Stemware. Whether or not it's antique, vintage, or contemporary is all up to you. It's a question of which one you like. There's no point having it if you don't like it. Silver plate or silver. Most of the time, there's the other fishing rods. Most of the time you'll just find it as silver plate. It's pretty hard to find full sterling silver anymore. So here's some of the glassware. There's definitely some from the 30s, 40s, and 50s in there. Maybe some even older one. Back to the silver plate. We're gonna go past it now. And we've got all kinds of stuff. Yes, we're coming up to these ceramic pieces that a friend of ours has a collection of what's the pattern called Sandland. The one right there is a related pattern, painted up differently. Not the cup and saucer, but these. The Sandland is the one that's in my hand. The shape is the same. They just didn't, on Sandland they either did all gold or all silver. And these ones are the silver ones with they have a gold handle. So there's some variations that they add on those as well. The background, it looks like they may have some Blue Mountain wear as well. Frog, huh? And they're inside cabinets, they're on shelves. So there's plenty to look at. So this is, if you've noticed, this was part 1 of the iron bucket. There's a part 2 that will come out following this. It's a nice store. We've been here before a couple of times. We're not in Fergus all that often, but when we are, we like to make a visit to this store. And the last time we were here, the lower level was closed off. The lower level shows up in part 2, and it was available to view this time. These look more like porcelain. And we're going to look at the magazines here. That's ephemera, but not quite yet. It's coming up shortly. There's a bit of humor in the way they put up their signs and instructions. Generally, what you may see as a price is not the price they actually sell it for. It's generally reduced by some amount. I'm sure you can collect up a bunch of different things and they'll give you a package price as well. We picked up a couple of items and they gave me a package price on the 2 of them as well. Nice ceramic egg, and I think this is a small ice bucket, mid-century. And we come back down from the top of that shelf. Now, like I said, these look like Blue Mountain ware. They made it for a long time. As I understand, they're no longer making it. Some of the designs and shapes are less commonly found, so the prices will vary according to the desirability and the number of them that are available. As you can see, there's quite a bit of the ceramics and porcelains. Some of them are commemorating royal events. Others are just pretty. These are some of the vintage tablecloths and fabrics. We're going to see something here that I haven't seen in a box very often. That was the Magnajector. The aisles, there we go, we see the Magnajector. The aisles look pretty straightforward. It's not very generous in space between them, so if you need to use something to assist you in your mobility, it would be difficult to maneuver in the store. Although I'm sure the proprietor will assist you in bringing them to you, because you can get into the store technically, because it is ramped. There's no step. Here's the sandland and related patterns that we were looking at earlier. A couple of nice jars there with lids. And here we are, we're looking at the other part. There's the sandland, or related. We looked at it from the other side this time, we saw it from this side. If you're reasonably mobile, it's okay to move around, but you need a walker or, heaven forbid, something more like a wheelchair, whether it's motorized or not, it generally won't fit through here. You definitely won't get into the basement because it's only accessed by stairs. They had some other ephemera. This one, there was a pile of books in this area that I was taking a bit of a look at. There's some books on local history here. There's books in another part of the store. There's a whole bookshelf of items. But Hamburg and Holly. It's a couple of 100 years of history for those areas. It's nearby if we aren't in it directly. So they had some ephemera there. We're coming up to the end of this particular portion of this video. Some things that I'm not sure, it might be a small instrument case, like a brass. Some store fixtures that you could see there. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you would like this and give us a thumbs up, maybe a subscribe, and if you really like it, we put a dingle on the bell and you'll get notified of the next posting. Thanks a lot, folks. Bye bye.